the Smith & Wesson Extraction and Evasion axe. Is it worth your time? Is it worth buying? Is it better than the Cold Steel Recon Hawk? I'm going to tell you guys all about it and tell you why that thing is pretty damn awesome. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Midgard Axe. I am Wes, the Suburban Viking.
I'm Dave, master of axe rituals.
And we're talking about the Smith & Wesson M&P Extraction and Evasion axe. Now, I will say, just getting into the specs of it, 15.5 inches long, weighing 1 pound and 8.5 ounces, so it's not extremely light, okay? But I will tell you guys this, Smith & Wesson knocked it out of the park with this all steel axe when it comes to axe throwing, because they got the exact length. I think you should have these all steel axes. 15.5 inches is the perfect length for this axe. As you guys know, we did a review on the Cold Steel, what was it, Dave?
The Cold Steel Recon Hawk. Get it together, man.
That's right, the Recon Hawk. And I told you guys in that video, that thing is horrible for axe throwing. Now, Smith & Wesson doesn't say anything about axe throwing on their website or anywhere about this being a throwing axe. But Cold Steel did with the Recon Hawk. They said it was perfectly balanced for axe throwing. And guys, sorry, there's mosquitoes everywhere. And that thing is horrible for axe throwing. You couldn't get a worse all steel axe to throw than the Recon Hawk. But this Smith & Wesson M&P Extraction Evasion axe is awesome. So let's get into why I think it's so cool. Number one, like I said before, it's weighted really nice, okay? Coming in at 1 pound and 8.5 ounces, it feels good in the hand. It has some heft to it. So when you throw this thing, it is smashing into the target. Coming in at 15.5 inches, it makes it extremely versatile for axe throwing. You can stand up close, throw it hard, you can take it back for distance. I did every throw that I could think of with the M&P Extraction and Evasion axe, and it just performed. It really did. It was an awesome flying throwing axe. And I love getting axes when they're not designed for axe throwing, like you've seen before when I use work axes for axe throwing, and they work out really well. And this thing just did really well. Single rotations were awesome. Standing here throwing really hard like I normally do, trying to be accurate into the target, doing some back spinning throws into the target, and you know, putting my back to the target, spinning around and throwing. I tried to get versatile as I could, as fast as I could, because I wanted to try to like push this thing to its limits as fast as I could, and it performed. It really did. I had no issues at all throwing this thing for a single rotation. It was awesome. It felt really good out of the hand. It felt clean out of the hand. I didn't have anything hanging up on my hand when I was releasing it, and it made for a really good axe to get a good release point. I felt like it was very consistent, if that makes sense. So when I was throwing for single rotations, no issues at all. Just slamming this thing into the target, spinning around, doing all kinds of different throws. It was just easy, guys. And the weight on this thing felt really good at a single rotation too. We got really good penetration. Even if I was throwing it moderately, we got good penetration. But if you set up really hard and throw this thing really hard for single rotation, you're gonna sink really deep. As far as penetration goes, we were sinking moderately. You can see the mark right here. We were sinking about right here, okay? But when I was throwing hard, I was sinking all the way up to here with the M&P logo. So you're looking at probably sometimes 3 inches of penetration. And as you guys can see here with the bit and the cheeks, they're fairly thin, okay? I will say the bit and the cheeks are very similar to the Cold Steel Recon Hawk, but I wasn't getting nearly as much penetration with that as I was with this one. This one was sinking really deep. So I will say, if you want a throwing axe for a single rotation, you can throw hard with a heck of a lot of penetration, and it flies really well and has some weight to it. This is pretty damn cool. And of course, like always, guys, we got crazy with double rotations. Standing there trying to be accurate in the target, I had no problems at all throwing this thing for double rotation. It was really consistent. Whenever I took my back put it to the target, spun around and throw. It just felt seamless. It really did. I didn't feel like I had to change my throw at all. Going up into the front yard and doing some of my dynamic throwing, running and throwing it, you know, kind of coming up and running and then stopping and throwing, just all kinds of different throws at a double rotation. I had no issues at all. It sank really good into the target, even at a double rotation. We were getting a lot of penetration. So the daggone thing flies really well for single, but man, was it fun at double too. You didn't have to go too far back for a double rotation, I will say that. So if you don't have a huge yard, you can probably pull out some double rotations. But man, it felt really good. There was one point in time where I didn't have the camera on, I was standing at a double rotation, and I was just bam, bam, bam into the target. It's a great flyer at a double rotation. It really was. Now, I wasn't a big fan of rubber grips. I'm really not. I hate rubber grips for axe throwing. They never hold up. But I will give you guys some information on the M&P. They held up pretty daggone well. Not bad at all. Now, I will say that we did get some tearing down here at the knob and some tearing here. The bit sunk into the target, and when it did, it went so deep that the knob went into the target and the wood that was sticking out kind of ripped it. So that's why we got a rip at the knob. It had nothing to do with hitting the knob at all. Even though I did hit the knob, I didn't get any cracking or splitting with it. On the couple times I did hit the knob, it didn't seem to affect the rubber at all, not until I sunk that bit into the target really deep. Now the top half here started shredding because whenever I started to do my sideways throws over here onto my round, the axe kind of hits weird. And when it hits weird, the handle always goes onto the edge of the wood round. I need to get some rope and put some rope around that wood round to stop this from happening. So all in all, guys, it's not bad at all. It held up a lot better than I thought it would, and the screws never came loose. Now let me tell you guys where this axe shines, and you're gonna be like, what, are you serious, Wes? Yes, I am. This thing shines at a triple rotation. I don't know how else to tell you guys other than to show you right now with some videos that I took of me throwing this for a triple rotation. And I threw this thing way more, but I don't want to make this video too long. Triple rotations with this thing were the best. I was able to call my shots. Left of the target, I threw a couple into the left side of the target. Then I went to the bottom of the target, threw a couple into the bottom. Then I started to make my way to the right side of the target, threw a couple into the right side of the target there, trying to be accurate, trying to get it in there. Then I went to the top, threw a couple into the top, and then I really set up trying to be really accurate, trying to go into the bullseye for the last few throws. So I kind of made a circle all the way around the target and then started pinpointing my accuracy into the bullseye to triple rotation. This thing just does it, guys. I don't know what else to say. It is a great flyer to triple rotation. It just performed really well. I had no issues at all getting this thing out of my hand at a triple rotation. It felt really good. I felt no difference throwing this thing at a single, double, and triple rotation. It just performs. It really does. So let's talk about the axe in general. You do get a spike in the back. It is pretty sharp, so if you wanted to stick it out of the box, you can. You do get an edge up here and down here, but it's not very sharp, and the cheeks on it are a little fat. But you could thin them if you wanted to use it for different types of tasks, or if you want to just use it for axe throwing, you can. The bit itself is nice bit up here, and it does hold its edge retention. I've been throwing this thing pretty much all day, and it's still pretty daggone sharp. It's made out of 420 stainless steel, if you care. And it is coming in, like I said, at 15.5 inches with a full ferrule, which means that the steel runs all the way down to the knob, okay? It worked out really well. The bolts didn't come loose in this either, and I threw it all day. It was just a great axe. I think construction-wise, they did a really good job. I have no breaks, no chips, no nothing, guys. I mean, it just held really daggone well. Now, the only thing that I can say about this con-wise, if I had to pick anything, would be the grip. It's just an overmold rubber grip. They're not the best for axe throwing. They're not going to hold up to abuse. They're just not. They're going to crack. They're going to split. So hopefully Smith & Wesson makes some replacement grips, because if they do, you can buy them, take the bolts out, put them right back in, you're good to go. It is worth checking out. I'm telling you guys it is. And to give you guys a comparison, remember when I showed you the Cold Steel Recon Hawk and how the weight distribution was off on it? Check this out. Weight distribution. Weight distribution is a huge thing on these steel axes. And you have to get the weight distribution right or they're not going to be good flyers. The weight distribution, like I showed you guys on my test, it is a true bit, which means it's going to fly true in the air when I do that weight test. I've shown you guys that before, and I'm showing you again. They got it right with this one. It is nice and thick too. You don't have to worry about it being too thin like some of your cheaper or more budget style all steel axes. You do have some heft in this thing. So all in all, not bad at all. Great flyer. It flies true in the air and it just sinks really deep into the target. So if you wanted to get the Smith & Wesson M&P Extraction and Evasion axe for axe throwing, I would say go for it. You are going to have to fight that rubber grip. But other than that, it is a great flyer. Single rotations, double rotations, triple rotations, I can't talk. And of course, trick throws. I was able to do it all. Right, Dave?
That axe was throwing wood like nobody's business.
That's right, we were able to smash with this thing. And I'm going to continue smashing with it. It is a great flyer. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think, if you'd be interested in the Smith & Wesson Extraction and Evasion tool. I say go for it. The damn thing flies, guys. It just does. It is really good. Coming in at like 40 or 50 bucks, you can't beat that thing. Yeah, you'll have to fight that rubber grip, but it's worth trying to deal with because it's such a good flyer. As you guys know, I've been trying to get into more steel axes, all steel axes, and I'm going to continue to do that in the future, but that thing right there is really good. Now, I don't know what it's used for as far as extraction and evasion, breaking things and using it for what it's designed for. I don't have any experience with that. Maybe some people say it's not that good for all that other stuff, but I can tell you this, for axe throwing, I can tear up with it, and I think you could too. I even got my son in this thing. I'll throw some videos in of my youngest son throwing it. He had no issues sticking it as single rotations. He was throwing it pretty moderate into the target. He's just now getting into axe throwing. He got into it a little bit in the past, but he's really getting into it now. And over the past like couple days, he's been asking me to teach him how to throw. And then we got him back to double rotations, sticking at doubles. So I think anybody could throw this thing. I don't think you'll break the bank with it, and I think it holds up. That's just my experience and my opinion. Any final thoughts, Dave?
Looks like we have two crappy axes to pawn off on Loki. The Recon Hawk in one hand, competition throwing axe in the other. What an idiot that guy is.
Anyway, we're going to get out of here, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for making the channel what it is. I hope you really got something out of this. Not a bad flyer at all, guys. Consider it. Consider if you don't have one. Really good for axe throwing. But I'm out of here, guys. Until next time, see ya. And if you care, it does come with a sheath. Has a belt loop, and the snaps are pretty daggone tight. It takes some force to get those things off. Pretty good axe. Pretty daggone good axe, guys. All steel axe. What a great flyer it is. I'm out of here. See ya. It does come with a sheath if you care. Some people care, some people don't. But it does. See you guys.